Good afternoon. Welcome to Options Tender. It's Wednesday, September 25, 2024. Welcome, everybody. We're doing this intraday. If you're interested in getting these videos intraday, then consider becoming a supporter. It's 99 cents. We're going to go through SPY on multiple time frames. No, excuse me. You know what? I'm used to saying that. We're just going to check out the daily time frame across the board here. We're going to have a little bit shorter video, but I just want to exercise extreme caution. We have GDP, Powell, and then on Thursday, and then on Friday we have what is it? The CPE, the inflation data. So, you know, the market's going to be volatile, and today I'm going to make an argument that the top is in. I don't personally think so, but I'm going to make the argument that the top is in. I do think we still have targets to reach, and we're in a bullish posture, just to give you a heads up. And then I want to reiterate, there's a lot of new people that are on here. If you want to see the higher time frame, go to yesterday's video. And also, if you need to watch multiple videos and you're a member as well, and you have individual analysis, consider putting these on 1.25 or 1.5 speed, just so you can get through this information faster and get more knowledge instead of skipping. I just think I recommend that. So, okay, we have SPY on the daily time frame. We had this bearish rising wedge, throw over into confluence, a rejection, and a breakdown. Okay, and now we have still positive market structure. And I think that we're still looking to go to about the 580 mark now. We're going to need small caps to step up. I don't think that tech is going to drag the entire market up. So we'll see what happens going into GDP tomorrow. And we're still above the 8 EMA, the turquoise line there. And I'll drag through just a little bit. Excuse me, I'll get a little bit closer, but I just want to show this is kind of the structure we're looking at before I zoom in. This being a 1, 2, ABC for 3, ABC for 4. This is an ending diagonal. A, B, and C can be satisfied. We can count this as being satisfied already, that our C is in for a 3-wave move up for wave 5. Okay, it doesn't have to make it up to those targets. We have our wave 3 high is broken. This could be our high right here. All right, and just the start of a 1, 2 on a micro scale. But we are still in positive momentum. We have a positive trend from the 20 moving average, and we're holding above that 162. We're just in a positive stance. Okay, going back to the traditional look. Here's the typical oscillators I use. We have the RSI with the negative divergence. The top can be in. We already made another negative divergence here. A 3 peak, as a matter of fact. This negative divergence is pushing through, and we got another one here. Okay. We have a sell signal on the slow stoke. You see what I mean? There's lots of signals, but if we do go higher, there's only 10 points. We're only 10 points away from that. Can happen in a day. All right. Let's go to the Qs. The Qs, again, I think the top is in, period. All right. We had this bearish rising wedge, filled it out, throw over, breakdown to the bottom of the wedge. Now, I'm looking at the top of the wedge being retested. That's the end target, but we're rejecting off of very valid resistance. And for this to be an initial wave 1, and the Elliott wave, for this to be initial wave 1, wave 2 could have been here. We already made a new high. That can be done. We left some unfinished business with the 786. We're at the 786 and rejecting off of it. This can be done. Okay. So if you're afraid of a big move down tomorrow, just consider put protection. We're in a positive structure here, making higher highs. In the long run, a lower high, but I still think positive structure going this way in this trend. Okay, the 8 EMA, we're above it, above the 20. The trend indicator, momentum indicator. No negative divergence here. So we can't say from this top to this top negative divergence. We're oversold already, but we only have, again, if price wants to go just a little bit higher, we only have 8 points. 8 points to go. Doesn't take much. That's one day. IWM. And this is really going to be our indicator, not our be-all, end-all indicator, but this has got to catch some traction. If the market, it's bleeding out right now. If the market is going to move higher, we go to the traditional first, then this has to make a move. All right. The top is in my opinion. We're just making a lower high. Now, this is satisfied with where it needs to be. Could it close a gap? I think so. I think it still has a chance. We're breaking down from the 8 EMA. We're still above the 20. We're above all the rest of the moving averages. We're still in the breakout position. And this is really only considered a back test. And also we have gap support here. And we have good daily support as well. And I can even draw a support line right about here. And that support comes from resistance, support, all the way through here. Support, resistance, support, resistance. Okay, so we're coming into that zone now as we go into GDP. So just don't be surprised if something happens. Now, time is wasting. And so those targets, when we talked about yesterday's videos, I'm not going to go over that all over again, but the targets that we have, I think the time frame, unless we really have a big move tomorrow, I think the time frame has to go into October for those highs to come in if we hold our positions. Now I'm probably going to head back and check out the DMARC too. I think we have something going on there. Okay, so targets are a little higher, coming into support. Now, again, saying the top could be in. I can argue that a 5-wave move is already in here, with this being a small wave 4 and eking out wave 5. Okay, and this initial 1, and we're getting an ABC for 2. This can be done. We're already retraced this full move to the 786. That's a typical wave 2 or wave B pullback. I like the fact if this is a true flat that this comes all the way up to the 887, but it doesn't matter what I like. So I think tomorrow's going to be big, and then going into Friday, if we get a positive day tomorrow, I think that Friday will likely follow through, and again on Monday. All right, and then we have employment next week. DIA, bearish rising wedge. We have resistance. We're at resistance. We're rejecting off it, but we're still in a bullish stance. We're connecting with the 8 EMA right now, the trend indicator, the momentum indicator. But our wave count is possibly done. All right, ending diagonal, ABC for 1, ABC for 2, ABC for 3, 4, and 5 at the 162 target. That's a major target here. So we have this move down here, our retracements, here's the 100%, which is the former all-time high. And then we have our 127.2 retracement, all the way up to, and that's our first major, and you see how price reacted around it. It traded around it. That's actually bullish, and then lifted above it, back tested, and went higher. So the 162 is the next major target. There are minor targets in between. Okay, so that's a look at that. I'm going to go through to SPY real quick with all of them with the DMARC. Or maybe even I'll show you a couple of other indicators. A couple things going on. We have a 9 count here. We're looking for a 13, possibly, on SPY. So we have 2 more days to do so. I think the 9 count went away. Yeah, so we're looking for a 13. So a 9, 9, 13. That would be a sell signal. So we're not quite there yet. So that actually goes against what I'm going for right now, that we might have a little bit more time on our side. Awesome oscillator. Just trying to show a few things here. Let's take that back off. Let's go to the Qs. I'm not going to go through those anymore. So the DMARC, we have a 9, 9 there, and you see we sold off. We have a 5 count so far. So a few more days could get us to a 9 count up here. 4 more days or so. That actually has a positive sign too. Sorry, not really doing my argument very well. So, but I do think we're going higher. All right. 9 sell signal here. We had a 9 sell signal here as well. And this is going lower. And this is getting more of a negative stance here. DIA. We now have the 9 count here and heading lower. So it's possible that these two are done. We'll see what happens at that point. But those 9 counts are definitely exhaustion symbols there. Now let's just go to the VIX. Let's do SMH. And here's another argument here that, yes, we're breaking out. We're in positive market structure. We're above the momentum indicator. 20 is kind of facing sideways to down, so that's not necessarily good. But what we can argue here is that we have a high, lower high, and we're just getting a lower high again. It doesn't have to be a perfect downtrend here. We could go off of, for example, this line. All right, so then you can give yourself kind of a neckline or whatever you want to say, or maybe triangulating from here. This could be a bear flag. All right, so that looks, if I take this out, it looks much more bearish. Okay, and we could break down straight from here. With the Elliott wave, we have everything satisfied. This being a 1, and this being a 2 pullback to the 62%. That's picture perfect. Okay, now we're just getting a deeper 1-2. This could be a 1-2, 1-2 bear setup. That's a strong argument, you guys. And again, with a possible bear flag, bear pennant. But if we have any more time, I don't know if DMARC has anything on here. If we have more time on our side after tomorrow's catalyst, then I do think that we can get up to the 786. It doesn't have to. We'll see where everything else is at the time. But everything is satisfied. All the check marks for bears are satisfied. It's just whether or not the bulls want to give up at this point. When they do, it's going to be a heavy move to the downside. And you don't want to be locked in on all calls going into major catalysts like this. VIX. Now, the VIX is again at support. Holding on to support in the 100 moving average right now. Totally a good spot. Is positive market structure. Higher highs, higher lows. If it doesn't have to go test to 200, but if it wants to, it starts to break down from this 15, then clearly you know the market's going higher. All right, so this is probably just going to hold on here until we have more information from market data catalyst tomorrow. And I'm not going to talk about, what that could be, negative GDP, anything. The market's going to do what it wants to. Even if we get negative GDP, then the market can go up, satisfy those targets that I was talking about, and then fall from there. I don't care what it says, really, ultimately. So that's about it. Not much more to show you. And if you want to get a 9 count, again, we have more time on our side. If you have the 9 count going into, I'm not going to talk about these because this is not my work, these brackets here. So that's not fair for me to use somebody else's work as my own. Okay. All right. That's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching us here at Options Center. Shorter video. We'll talk to you after some business tomorrow. Stay safe and good luck trading.